Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Travel Sketchbook tour number 2 today. I'm so excited. It's the fastest I've ever filled anything. If you want to see Travel Sketchbook number 1, it'll be linked somewhere. We'll work on that. But this is our Travel Sketchbook number 2. This is from December to April of 2023. Theme of this one would be airplanes and church. There you go. It is a Moleskine A6 watercolor art, or watercolor album, I think it's called. It's not necessarily the highest quality watercolor paper, but it works. This sticker is from Catnip Illustrations. If you care and you don't know her, you should go follow. Anyway, let's get into it. So, as always, we start off with the obligatory picture of my supplies. We've got my portable painter micro here and a couple travel brushes. Obviously covering up all of the important information you don't need to know. And then you'll notice that this started in December and most of it's in December. So we've got our poinsettia here, which is still thriving. And then we have the work sketch. So this is my work Christmas tree that sits on my desk. Here is our all church pageant. I took to drawing in church and I tried to keep them all kind of similar. So here it's Micron for the ink lines, and then the shadow color is all Moonglow, and then the highlight color, this like yellow, is Qor's Quinacridone Gold. Here is a sketch I actually did from right here at my desk. I finished the like outside window portion and never really went back to color the rest of it, but I really like the effect that it has. So like the pen and ink lines are all here in the foreground, and then the like the background, I guess, is all colored. So there's that. Then we have the obligatory Christmas Village sketch. I'm a big fan of them, and this one's mine. So we've got a print shop, a Home Depot, and a like musical repair shop over here. And then, of course, foreground is just all the things that were on the table. And then very quick airport sketch, as my husband and I went to go see family for Christmas. The airplane sketches in this book are some of my favorite and some of my least favorite. This one would fall in the least favorite category, but here you go. Then we have a Christmas Eve sketch. I made the mistake of actually putting colors on this one, and I'm not sure I love it. So it goes back to the Moonglow and the Quinacridone Gold here pretty quickly. Here is an airplane sketch on the way home. This would be me realizing that the jet engines are not completely round, or on all of the planes, and asking my dad why. This is my dad's response. It'll be forever encapsulated in the sketchbook, whether he likes it or not. And then it was the week in between Christmas and New Year's, and I was on call and I was working, but I worked from Panera that day, and I sketched because nobody else was working. And I was on phones, so here it is. I think the way that the smoothie came out actually captures the texture really well on that. The rest of it, iffy. This is also the very first person I've ever drawn in one of these travel sketches. There are more, actually. Well, I guess the very first person I've drawn like in a travel sketch kind of situation. The sitting in church doesn't really count because none of them can see me. Here is the little town. I went to watercolor class this morning and then decided to take my sketchbook and sit in the car and do a little sketch of the frozen river with our really old-fashioned water tower here. Here's another church sketch. You can see our fancy wise men on the wall there and the Christmas decorations on the windows. And then here I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I was so proud of myself. We're putting together a little very supportive community over there, and I'm so thrilled with everybody who's joined me. And my husband was really excited. And so he took me out to get my favorite Mexican food, and we sat there and talked about Instagram and the art that I've been working on, and oh my goodness, it was so much fun. And so I colored kind of like our section and then did like a shadow in the background, and I kind of really like the way that one looks too. I did a lot of different kind of interesting things here, and I've been really having fun with that, so there you go. Also, I cannot draw my husband to save my life, so this is as much as you will ever see. Then we've got more church sketches, so sitting in the car, my husband plays for the band, and so he goes in and he practices, and I sit in the car and I draw. And that's what this is. There are a bunch of those. And then, again, the candle boards on the stained glass. I just find it really captivating. So here you go. And I can't turn pages. Oh, and then this is a work sketch. So at lunch I went to the mall, the dying mall, and there's a rainforest cafe, and it had been really bleak and really gray, and I just needed something green in my life, and here it is. So this is how far I got while I was sitting there during my lunch, and I've just kind of left it. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, but I did. And I think it tells a much better story than if I had come back home and finished it all. There you go. And then here's another work lunch sketch that got interrupted, because all of my lunches get interrupted. But this is the tree that I park under at work. And again, it was one of those things where I painted first and I kind of liked how it turned out, and I haven't gone back and done anything to it, so that's where it is. And you can see there's some notes because somebody called me and this was what I had in front of me to write on. And then we're back to airplanes. So when I am not taking phone calls for work, I travel. And so I do sit in a lot of airports, and this morning they were de-icing the plane, and I don't know if you've ever sat there and just watched somebody de-ice the plane in the middle of the night, but it's captivating, and so I drew it. And you've got a fancy little trash can there in the foreground. I like making sure that we have a foreground element, otherwise I feel like there's nothing to balance out the sketch. So trash can it was. And then I was working through our 100 Days challenge, so I was drawing every day, and so here is me watching Ghost Adventures on a Thursday night in a hotel room. Because I decided I'd rather do a sketch in this instead of painting something else. So, kind of fun. Here's all of my tools that I travel with. Obviously, hotel rooms are as exciting as they get, so there you go. Corner of my backpack, kind of fun. This one was coming home from that trip, so more airplanes. This is BWI, if you care. This little guy is my favorite person I think I've ever drawn. It was really cold, so he's all bundled up in his high-vis jacket, and he was just standing there. I'm sure he was waiting on something, I'm sure, but he was, I'm glad I drew him in, because I was a little skeptical about that. More church sketches, another big tree. I was having a lot of fun doing all of the texture here. And more church sketches. This was the Super Bowl, so the family in front of us was wearing their jerseys. I'm not a fan of the way I painted this. So you see how all the background is yellow, but if we go back to some of the other ones, and I cannot flip these pages to save my life today. You see how there's only just like a little bit of yellow there, and like there's some more depth to it. I really just didn't get that here. So not my favorite. And this is Des Moines, Iowa. This is the Iowa Capitol building. I think it's the gaudiest Capitol building in the US. And it was sunset, and I was at a park, and the lake was frozen, and I decided to draw it. I did all of this on site. So some of the tree line here, some of the scale isn't quite right, but I had a good time and my hands are freezing. And then this is my favorite sketch in the entire book. This is sitting at O'Hare, just watching people walk by. Drew all the planes in the background. And each one of these people is a mixture of a number of people walking by. Obviously people don't walk super slow, but I just love the way this one turned out. Really happy with it. And then yet another airplane sketch. I like jet engines. This isn't the only jet engine that's super zoomed in on. Just packing the airplane. More tree sketches from church. Sitting in my in our car here. This was really fun. This was at the beginning of Lent. They created this really cool looking sculpture. And so had to paint that the actual colors that it was. But again, just back to just the Moonglow and the Quin Gold, and leaving enough white space that, you know, it really does look like shadows and then light shining, which is what I've been going for. This one's fun. Also sitting in the car waiting on my husband. And just the patterns of the lights. So, more church sketches. You know, there's nothing really interesting there. The worst plane sketch in the entire thing. Really hate it. Is what it is. And then we went into church early on Easter. So we were waiting for people, and this is what that sketch looks like. And then here, again, just the ink in the foreground and the paint in the background. The water droplets on the windshield. That one was fun. And then finish it off with my puppy. And that's it. So, sketchbook number 2 done. And that's it, everybody. So, thanks for joining me on my second travel sketchbook tour. If you haven't seen the first one, you can go back and watch that. It should be linked here for you. And thanks for joining me. If you've got any tips or suggestions, please leave them down in the comments. This is definitely something that I'm still really new at, and traveling and sketching while I'm traveling has made it so much more exciting for me. So please leave your comments and suggestions in the comment section. And if you'd like to see where I go and how things go down, follow me on Instagram. I'm always updating my stories when I draw these in real time. And then most of the time, if I like it, it gets posted as well. So thank you guys so much, and we'll talk next time. Thanks. Bye.